It is finally happening. Fate Part 2 is actually here. It's real. I can't believe it. I'm so excited for this. And yeah, I know I'm 2 days late with this. It has been announced on Friday and now it's Sunday. But while I was away from home, I was visiting my grandparents and wasn't really able to record a video there. I had my laptop with me actually, but not my mic. But yeah, now I'm back home, and this is basically the first thing I'm doing, because I just have to talk about this. I'm a huge Fate fan, and I was already really happy with the Fate collab last year. I mean, just having some Fate characters in Honkai Star Rail, even if it's just two, was already amazing. But now we got two more, and one of them is Rin Tohsaka, one of my favorite Fate characters. Much like Saber, I really love Rin. I actually love her almost as much as Saber. So yeah, I am gonna try to E6 her just like Saber last year. And I have actually been saving for a while, since like, I think January or February, I'm not sure. Ever since the first rumors surfaced about a potential part 2 of the Fate collab, I was like, okay, even if it's not true, I still have to save just in case. And yeah, now it turns out that it was the right decision. I already have around like 50k Stellar Jade, and this collab starts on the 24th of July, which means we still have 2 months to save up even more Stellar Jade and tickets. So by the time this starts, I'll probably have like 60k at least, maybe even 70k Stellar Jade, which is not enough to guarantee E6, but it should be enough to at least get a few Eidolons. And if the banner stays as long as the Saber and Archer banner, then over the course of a few months, I should be able to get that E6. But yeah, there's of course not just Rin, but also Gilgamesh. And let's take a closer look at the designs. We're gonna start with Gilgamesh actually, since he's the one I'm less excited for. I mean, I still like Gilgamesh, don't get me wrong, he's a cool guy, but I'm definitely way more excited about Rin. And yeah, this is an interesting design, you know? He has like black pants and then kind of like a black jacket. I don't know what to call this, like half jacket. This is a weird type of clothing, but you know, of course, the chest had to be bare. And we can see some of the red tattoos here. Yeah, really cool design. And of course, he has the chains, one of his main weapons. And we can see the Gate of Babylon here in the background, these golden circles here, where he's summoning the weapons from. It's a really cool ability. I personally prefer Unlimited Blade Works, you know, the ability that Archer has. He also can summon a lot of swords. And I think Archer's way of doing it is a bit cooler, but Gilgamesh definitely is also really cool. And I definitely like this design. Now let's see what it says here on the right. Stellaron, my treasure. When you reach the end of your journey, I shall seal you within the deepest depths of my treasury. Is he talking to the main character here, to Stel or Kalis? Interesting. And yeah, he wants to add that Stellaron to his treasury. I mean, that's very in character for him. That said, your trailblaze shall endure for a long time. He's talking to a trailblazer, reaching even beyond the ultimate horizon of my own foresight, basically saying that even with his clairvoyance, he can't really see the end of the Trailblazer's journey. The king of heroes from the dawn of human history, hailing from a world beyond the stars, possessing a nature 2/3 divine and 1/3 mortal, he claims a natural-born prerogative to rule over all of creation. Yeah, he is arrogant like that. He thinks he rules everything and everything belongs to him. Laughing out loud today as always, right up until getting dragged into another world by some adversarial goddess. Wait, that has to be Ishtar, right? That can't be any other goddess than Ishtar, yeah. She's kind of his arch enemy. This time, he will once again reclaim everything that is rightfully his as king. Okay, so yeah, basically they're saying here that Ishtar dragged him into this other world, which is very interesting. I wonder if Ishtar is gonna appear in the event story. If there's another event story, there probably is, right? And even more interesting about this is, with Rin being the other character here, she's actually a vessel for Ishtar in Fate lore. She's very compatible with Ishtar, so often Ishtar appears as a pseudo-servant in the body of Rin. So I wonder if maybe at some point during the event story, Ishtar's gonna possess Rin and talk to Gilgamesh that way. That would be cool. But let's go back here and see what else it's saying here. I mean, original concept artist is Takuchi as always. And then here it just says that it starts July 24. Okay, and he is Destruction Lightning. Very interesting. Another destruction character, but yeah, it fits him. I'm not sure if I would have given him lightning. I feel like imaginary would have fitted as well, but it's fine, I guess. Anyway, I am really happy with this. The only thing that I'm not so happy about is something that hasn't been confirmed yet, but that a lot of people are saying, and that is that he is apparently supposed to be played with Saber, and Rin is supposed to be played with Archer. And if that is true, I would be kind of sad about that because I kind of want to play Rin with Saber. And I do not want to put Gilgamesh in the same team as Saber. Because in the Fates Night visual novel, he's actually kind of a creep towards her, to put it mildly. Also kind of a stalker. And Saber really doesn't like him. And yeah, I don't know. I'm not a fan of him being potentially a sub DPS for Saber or something like that. I hope that turns out to be wrong. But even if he is, even if he turns out to be like the best character to play with Saber, I still wouldn't play them together. I still would put Rin in Saber's team. Because, frick gameplay. I just need Saber and Rin to be in the same team. And Archie, put all three of them together because why not? And Gilgamesh, yeah, he gets his own team, but definitely he's not gonna be in the same team as Saber. That's for sure. But yeah, let's talk about Rin now, because her design is also really interesting. She has a little bit less red than I was expecting. Like, red is kind of her color. It's more white and black here. I mean, black also fits her. She has a black skirt usually. Here it's more white, but there is a little bit of black under the white skirt, so it's kinda there still. But yeah, even more interesting is that there's the pendant, Archer's pendant. Well, it was kinda her pendant at first, but then Shiro got it before he turned to Archer, and it was kinda the thing that made it possible for her to summon Archer in the first place. So yeah, that is cool that she has that. I really like that. And also that red jacket here, it looks a little bit Archer-esque. It looks kind of like Archer's outfit a little bit, So I can see the influence. This is kind of cool. Which also makes me think that it's probably true that she's meant to be played with Archer. I mean, she is also his master in Fate's.net, but she was also Saber's master for a little bit in Unlimited Blade Works specifically, which, this is supposed to be an Unlimited Blade Works collab, but at this point I think it's more of a general Fate collab, because if we look at what she's holding here, yeah, that's the jeweled sword of Zelraj. And that is not something that Unlimited Blade Works Rin usually has. Yeah, that's more Heaven's Feel Rin. But maybe, maybe at some point Unlimited Blade Works Rin got her hands on that sword. I don't know. At some point in the future. We don't actually know that much about the future of the Fate characters in the different routes. I mean, some of them appear in like Lord Elmeloy case files. But there are a lot of different Fate worlds, a lot of different timelines. So there is an argument to be made that maybe in some timeline that originated from Unlimited Blade Works, she became Zelraj's student and got that sword, or somehow created it herself, which I'm not sure if she can actually do that without Shiro. But then again, she is together with Shiro at the end of Unlimited Blade Works, so I guess it's possible. But it doesn't really feel like an Unlimited Blade Works collab anymore. It feels more like a Channel Fate collab, especially with this sword here that she has. Definitely feels more like Heaven's Feel Rin. But anyway, let's read what it says here for her. The contract is complete. Relax. I'm not really one for strict hierarchies. Well, not for most people anyway. Got that, my servant? Okay, who is she talking to here? The Trailblazer again? Does she see the Trailblazer as her servant or something? Is the Trailblazer gonna be a servant in this new event? That would be cool. Or maybe she's just talking to Archer. That is also, of course, a possibility. Hailing from a world beyond our universe where magic and magecraft coexist, this young mage tirelessly hones her skills. She's the sixth head of the Tohsaka family, a prestigious lineage of Ryuki mages. Yep, that's all true, of course. Currently studying under a renowned master at the Clock Tower. Now, this could mean two things. It could be Lord Elmeloy II, aka Waver Velvet, that we know she studied under for a while. It could also mean Zelraj, since she does have the sword. But then there's this, who has deep ties to the Holy Grail, so that makes me think they're referring to Lord Elmeloy II here. Though, then again, Zelraj also does have deep ties to the Holy Grail, specifically to its origins. He kind of was involved in creating it. And yeah, then she's hopping across dimensions and planes just to finish an internship assignment. Yeah, okay. Waver would not assign her stuff like that, so it definitely has to be Zelraj, right? So basically she's using the sword to hop between dimensions, kind of using the second magic. I'm not gonna explain all that for the people who don't know much about Fate, but basically there are like 5 true magics that can perform like real miracles, and with this sword she can kind of tap into the second magic, which can connect her to different worlds. This is how they're explaining her being in the Honkai Star Rail world, I guess, since she can't just be summoned like a servant. She is not a servant, she's a master. And then, where am I? Why isn't there any magical energy here at all? The Holy Grail? I'm saved. Sorry, it's just gonna borrow this. Okay, so this sounds like she's actually kind of screwed here because there's no magical energy and she can't do much without magical energy. But then she sees the Holy Grail and she's like, oh, this can be magical energy. Give it to me. I need this to get back or something like that. Kind of funny. But yeah, that's Rin. I love her. She's awesome. I like this design. And it seems like she's Quantum Erudition. Very interesting. So probably not a full-on support, more of a sub-DPS since she's Erudition and not Harmony. I was kind of hoping for her to be like a full-on support for all the other Fate characters since she's the only master. Gilgamesh, Archer, and Saber are all servants. So I was kind of hoping for her to be like the Cyrene of the Fate servants, you know? Be for them what Cyrene is for the Crisis heirs. That was kind of the hope. Not just my hope, but from what I've seen, a lot of people are hoping for that. But like I said, now there's this rumor that Gilgamesh is supposed to be played with Saber, and she's more for support for Archer or sub DPS, I don't know. Which would mean that she probably doesn't work that well with Saber, which is just sad. They could have done so many great things with her being a master and supporting the servants, like their command spells that she could use in battle to like support them and stuff like that. And yeah, we don't have any official info about the kids yet, so it could still be that they're gonna go for that. Gonna make her support. I really hope that they're gonna do that. But, you know, I would be happy if she just has at least a little bit of synergy with Saber. That there isn't like an anti-synergy, that it's not worth it at all to play them together. That would be sad. That would be so sad. But anyway, and then down here, yeah, it just says the release date again. Erudition Quantum. Yeah, okay. Really nice. I'm so happy about this collab. I really wasn't expecting a part 2, and I was very skeptical when the first leaks came out, but now it's actually confirmed. That is amazing. But there's one more thing that I wanna react to in this video, because this wasn't really a reaction, just kind of an analysis of these designs and, you know, and reading the text. I've already seen this a few days ago, but what I haven't seen is the reveal trailer. I was saving that for the video so that you get my genuine reaction. I don't know what exactly they showed in the live stream, if they already showed animations or ultimates or stuff like that. No idea. So yeah, let's just watch this and see what they showed about this collab already. Okay, there we have Rin splash art. And then Gilgamesh splash art. Should probably turn on the subtitles. Are there even English subtitles for this? Ah, it's fine, they're probably just introducing the characters anyway. And then we get one free Gilgamesh or Archer. Actually, I forgot to mention that. Yeah, I saw that as well. Okay, that's it. Okay, I see. Well, yeah, that was nothing. They just showed the artwork and showed that, I think it's actually here in the second image, yeah, that you can claim one of them for free, which is also kind of unexpected. I thought they would just give either Gilgamesh or Rin for free, but no, they're actually giving Archer. But if you choose Archer, then you can claim Gilgamesh. I'm actually kind of torn about that, because it is tempting to go for E2 Archer, but then I wouldn't have Gilgamesh. And, you know, to be fair, Gilgamesh is my least favorite out of the 4 Fate characters that are gonna be in Honkai Star Rail now. But I still wanna complete the set, so I'm probably gonna choose Gilgamesh just to complete the set. But E2 Archer is definitely tempting. And yeah, no free Rin, sadly, so I will have to roll for her. But yeah, like I said, I'm not just gonna roll for 1 Rin, I'm gonna roll for 7 Rins. Am I gonna get all of them on day 1? No idea. I'm gonna try. But I'm definitely gonna E6 her over the course of this event, even if it's not on day 1. And everything else remains to be seen, you know, what her kit is actually like, how well she works with Archer and Saber. We will see about that. For now, I'm just happy that it even exists, that this part 2 is actually real. I still kinda can't believe it. But yeah, with all that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then please leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more Honkai Star Rail and other gacha content. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day.